Welcome to the GCN Show.
Coming up this week, could riders be sent off at the Tour de France? New UCI rules might add a new dimension to racing.
Plus, a new heart rate monitor from Wahoo, a revolutionary new pedal, and how swapping out your car for an e-bike will save you enough money to buy a house. This week in the world of cycling, we learned that if you have a spare 500 quid, you can get a saddle custom printed to the precise anatomy and demands of your ass, thanks to Physique's new one-to-one programme.
More on that in a moment. We also learned that Tom Pidcock happily risked life and limb at the weekend to win the most technical cross-country mountain bike race ever, just 1 week out from the Tour de France.
It's a different route to the Tour, isn't it?
Yeah.
We also learned that while cycling is dangerous, what you need to watch out for are garden steps.
Poor Katie Archibald, two-time Olympic gold medal winning track cyclist, tripped on a garden step last week and dislocated her ankle, broke her tibia and fibula, and ripped 2 ligaments off the bone.
I mean, she's obviously going to be in a lot of pain, but even more so because it means she's going to miss the Olympics. We really feel for you, Katie, we really do, and wish you a speedy recovery. Now, last week we gave you the exciting news here at GCN that we're independent once again and in control of our own destinies once more. We have got some more information on the membership tiers, which we mentioned on last week's show. So, there are 3 channel membership tiers that are launching today, Tuesday the 25th of June. Tier 1, we call the GCN Musette, haven't we? That's going to cost $2.99 or pounds per month, and will give members exclusive access, loyalty badges to show your support to the channel, plus custom emojis for you to use in the comments and in the live chats.
Is it going to be a Daniel Lloyd emoji?
Well, I blooming well hope so. But that's a higher tier, presumably.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, well, watch this space. The next is the GCN Casquette, which is priced at $12.99 or $14.99 a month. With that, you get everything from the Musette tier, plus, I feel like it also needs a drum roll, access to 50 of our feature-length GCN plus documentaries from our catalogue. And they'll kind of rotate, won't they, over the months?
They will indeed.
Because we've got more than that.
Yeah, how many did we have in the end? Well over 100, wasn't it?
Wasn't it nearly 200?
Might have been.
How many did we have? 200. We did know we had 200.
Wow.
Yeah.
Anyway, the top tier is called the GCN Bidon. That's for £22.99 or $24.99 per month. With that, you get everything from the Musette and Casquette tiers, plus an exclusive water bottle and a signed GCN book of your choice.
It's like the super supporter tier, isn't it? Yeah, absolutely. Anyway, we would value your support so much, wouldn't we?
We would.
In this,
we would. To reiterate, this does not mean that you're going to be paying for the videos that you already enjoy watching for free here on YouTube.
Yeah, and neither does it mean that we're carving out some of our free-to-view content and then putting it behind a paywall. So, as we said, this is a way for you to support us. And with your help, and then the continued support of our partners like Canyon, Orbea, Pinarello, Zwift, and Wahoo, we cannot just keep on making the GCN that you know and love, but do more and bigger and better.
That's the aim.
Yeah.
Anyway, to check out our memberships, click on the join button, which is just down below. I can't wait to watch those films again, I've got to say. I presume I'm getting a free membership though.
Well, I don't know actually.
We haven't been told, have we?
No, we haven't. I mean, if you have the ability to send emojis of your own face, that would be cool, wouldn't it? Just imagine that. I don't know what it would be punctuating.
No, it could cut down on my time taking to reply to people, couldn't it?
Just send a picture of your face.
Yeah. There's the Dan Lloyd face emoji.
Yeah, I can't wait to watch those films again, honestly. No. You know what? Like an idiot. I didn't show my family the documentaries that were made in the Himalayas last year when they were available. So I cannot wait to sit down and watch them with them. Stick them on the TV. Oh, it's going to be beautiful. Finally, we learnt that the UCI are set to introduce some new rules.
What are they banning now?
Well, I mean, technically they haven't banned anything yet. Although race radio is possibly going to go. But new rules that are soon going to have a trial period will allow them to ban riders who commit multiple offences.
Offences such as deviating in a sprint or any other action likely to pose a risk to the safety of the race and the rides within that race.
Yeah, now for those interested, the 21 race incidents concerned are listed in the Article 2.12.007 of the UCI regulations.
Fantastic. Anyway, this new rule, set to be introduced in a trial format on the 1st of August, is going to allow the UCI to give a yellow card to offenders. Disappointingly, they're virtual yellow cards rather than actual material yellow cards.
That is properly disappointing.
Yes.
Like, genuinely, it would look so funny if a commissaire, so one of the referees, was vigorously waving a yellow card at a rider from the commissaire's car off a motorbike.
Yeah, and the rider who in turn flails their arms about in comical disbelief. In all seriousness though, I think this is a good move by the UCI to sanction serial offenders. 2 yellow cards for a single rider in a single race, be it stage or one day, means disqualification and a 7 year, that would be harsh.
That would be harsh, yeah.
7-day ban. 3 yellow cards in a 30-day period will lead to a 14-day suspension, and 6 yellow cards within a year will result in a 30-day suspension. Now, one of the reasons I think it's a good idea is that there's currently very little to dissuade helpers from breaking the rules if it'll benefit their leaders. They might get a monetary fine, but that'll be paid for by the team, or at worst, they're docked a few UCI points.
Yeah. I think it's a bit lenient, to be honest with you.
The card system?
Well, yeah. I mean, how many yellow cards was it to get a 30-day ban?
6 in a year.
That's a lot, isn't it, when you think about it?
It's like getting caught speeding 6 times before you're banned from the road, isn't it?
I think that's a bit easy. But anyway, I mean, you're saying about the team support, that was highlighted, wasn't it, in the latest Netflix series, Unchained. And it might make riders think twice about their actions, wouldn't it? Especially if they have already received 1 yellow card.
Yeah, we were talking about Van der Poel barging Girmay out of the way so that Phillips could get through it and sprint to the win. Van der Poel was fined. Phillips had nothing happen to him because he didn't actually break the rules himself.
Is it wrong that I like those little bits of racing, though?
No, not at all.
I mean, I think that's great. The new rules, incidentally, by the way, were suggested to the UCI by Safer, which is an independent body.
That's what it
is. It a West Country thing? For those of you that are not English, that's Safer is very much a West Country thing from this part of the world. Anyway, they're an independent body, aren't they? Responsible for analysing the risks relating to the routes of races, providing safety advice to stakeholders in professional road cycling, and then also carrying out safety audits on race organisers and teams, and actually publishing quarterly safety reports, aren't they?
They've got a lot on there.
Yeah, none of which sounds massively interesting, but all very worthwhile.
Oh, definitely. I mean, joking aside, it is really worthwhile. But yellow cards are not the only trial that they're going to be implementing between the 1st of August and the end of the year, courtesy of Safer. They're also experimenting restricting race radios at certain yet-to-be-named races, as you mentioned, Si.
Yeah, I feel like that needs some kind of explanation, but there is no explanation, as far as I can tell, in the new rules.
No, they're talking about maybe restricting the number of rides per team that can use them, or perhaps not having them whatsoever. But I think that they are concerned with the safety of that in case there's a hazard in front of the race that they need to communicate to the rider. So it's always a difficult one, that.
Why is it going to make it safer?
Well, they're talking about all of the riders being told to get to the front at the same time, all of the time, causing a lot of the crashes. And just, I guess, the general noise in your ear when you're trying to race in such close proximity to the other riders within the peloton. Again, this is why there's a trial period. They're going to see if there's going to be any effect on the overall safety of the races. The other thing they're experimenting with is a modification of the 3K rule.
Yeah, so the 3K rule being that if you're involved in or held up in a crash inside the final 3 kilometres of a flat sprint stage, then you get given the same time of the group that you were in. So it's basically designed for like the big favourites like Pogacar and Vingegaard to not need to be in the front 6 riders of a sprint stage, isn't it? They can just chill out a bit and their race will not be ruined. In the trial period, organisers are going to have the choice of extending that to 5 kilometres if they deem it necessary.
Again, seems like a decent rule to me. I mean, you've still got a race at the end, haven't you? It's not like the GC times are taken with 5Ks to go. It just takes out some of the risks of bad luck hindering or completely derailing your GC ambitions.
They're not sweeping rule changes, are they? Except for that card one, which could be.
Well, I mean, I still can't believe they're not material cards. I mean, That would go down. That would be a social media storm, wouldn't it?
It would. I don't think individual commissaires are empowered enough to make those decisions on the road, are they?
Well, maybe not on the road, but can you? I mean, sometimes they could do it on the road. They're radioed through from the people that are watching at the finish line, the commissaires. But can you imagine that if they just looked at it overnight and then the next morning, as they're all lining up for the start, a load of refs just went down and just did yellow cards to some of the riders on the start line?
Yeah. I remember there was an Irish commissaire, I can't for the life of me remember what his name was, but he was infamous for throwing riders off races, like mid-race, if he deemed that you were, breaking the rules.
Wow.
And he should have had a red card, basically, with him.
Yeah, or just a baton. Anyway, let us know in the comments below what you think about these new trial rules.
And now it's time for cycling shorts.
Cycling shorts now, and we're going to start with the news that swapping your car for an e-bike will save you enough money to buy a house. Yes, according to architectureanddesign.com.
Sounds like a bold shout, doesn't it? Their logic is that in Australia anyway, which is where they are based, owning a car costs on average between $23,000 and $26,000 every year. So replace your car with a bike and you could over a few years save enough money to cover the cost of a $300,000 mortgage.
I mean, that still sounds like quite a bold shout, doesn't it? That is a very expensive car.
Yeah.
But still, definitely something in there. Do you know what I think? 100%. Get a normal bike, get an e-bike. Car clubs are the way forward. Because sometimes you need a car. You need access to a car.
Type owners club.
I mean, that would be good if you could borrow one. No, I was thinking more like, car rental car clubs.
Okay.
I think they're cool. Anyway, we'll move on. Although stick to e-bikes just for a moment. E-bike Tips ran a story last week about some new tech which could effectively mean that it would act as an immobiliser for your bike to give that much wanted theft protection.
Motor immobilisers already exist, but the bikes can still be pedalled. However, this collaboration from Commodule and 2Lock will stop your wheels from rotating, effectively locking the hub and then also stop the wheel from being removed. It's a thumbs up from me, and I'm presuming from Si as well, particularly if it can be done remotely off a key fob like it would be with your car.
That whole thing about you just walk away from your bike and nonchalantly over your shoulder, press your key fob and it goes blip, blip. There you go. Right, sticking with new tech, our old mate John Cannings shared this one with us this morning. It is a company getting ready to crowdfund their new pedals, which have a unique design, accompanied with the slogan, "Ride sexy."
Oh, sign me up now.
Well, yeah. I mean, you wouldn't say no, would you?
I wouldn't say no. The company behind them are called Torelli, and the design promises to allow you to be able to clip into your pedal at any angle. So forget single-sided, forget double-sided. This has 360 degrees of engagement.
Yeah, so from looking at it, it's a little bit like a Wahoo pedal, so speed play pedals of old, where the moving part to allow you to clip in is actually on the cleat, leaving the pedal light and simple and apparently sexy.
Oh, that's the sexy bit, is it?
I think so, yeah.
Anyway, okay. Speaking of sexy, as mentioned earlier, Physique are offering to pressure map your bum in order to get custom 3D printed saddles.
That's right. So this will, as mentioned again, only set you back £499 or $599, which is clearly a lot of money. But I was thinking about this, right? In terms of top-end products, particularly when you start talking about aero ones, actually, it's not that bad, is it, really?
There's some people out there that would pay that just for the mapping.
Well, that's right. And so if you're going to get a custom anything, a custom saddle is probably not a bad shout.
Well, in all seriousness, yeah. I mean, when I was younger, I really suffered a lot with saddle sores for many, many years.
How old are we talking?
Well, I finally found a Cell San Marco Concours Light when I was 20, 21 maybe. And all my saddle sores just suddenly cleared up. I found the saddle that seemed to be the right shape for me.
Very narrow saddle, isn't it? The Concours Lights. That explains a lot.
Yeah, it was, yeah. But anyway, it's worth having a saddle that fits your behind, isn't it? So if you've got the money, I'd say that's money well spent.
Unfortunately, though, as a young 17-year-old Daniel Lloyd probably wouldn't have had the money to spend $500 on it. But still, no, the point is valid. Yeah, finding the right saddle, Makes a big difference, doesn't it?
It does, yes. Anyway, to explain further, you basically go to a registered dealer and ride some Wahoo rollers with this pressure mapping pad under your bum. And then, hey presto, a little while later, a custom 3D printed saddle is delivered to your door.
Yeah, now I am fortunate that I've actually never had a problem, touch wood, getting comfortable on saddles, but I would love to see if it made a difference. And I'd also love to compare two different 3D printed saddles. Like how wildly different could they be?
Well, if we both go down and swap saddles, we can find out.
Physique, if you're listening, I'd quite like to do that. Right, anyway.
Yeah, moving on. So Wahoo have just launched a new heart rate monitor strap called the TRACKR. It's got a redesigned strap, is Bluetooth and Ant Plus compatible, so as well as head units and smartwatches, it will also connect to your phone as well. But perhaps the biggest selling point is that it has a rechargeable battery.
Yes, that is cool, isn't it?
I can't believe it's taken this long to have a rechargeable battery on a heart rate strap.
I know, I can't...
It seems so obvious, doesn't it, now?
I can't think of another one.
No.
That has got... So anyway,
I
yeah.
just assume it's going to be the CR2032 that I need to replace in the back of the heart rate strap.
I genuinely, I find those batteries so irritating. I always run out, always. So yeah, this is great. Thumbs up, Wahoo. Apparently it lasts 100 hours of activity between charges. So for some people, that'll be an awfully long time, won't it? And as we said, no more coin cell batteries. Yes.
They also said it's been tested through the toughest work outside, which I assume is code for the sweatiest workout. Have you been testing one, have you, for them? Crikey.
Yeah, okay. No, I haven't, not yet. But I mean, if anyone is going to sweat through a heart rate monitor, it probably is going to be me. Okay, right. As if you didn't know, 2024 is a big year for elections, isn't it? And here in the UK, we are in the last couple of weeks of some fairly fierce campaigning. Alan Foster, a chap from Instagram, kindly shared a clip with me of a campaign video from the UK's former Transport Minister, Grant Shapps, saying that a bike path should be removed because it wasn't used enough.
As former Transport Minister, wasn't it his job to oversee transport infrastructure?
Well, you would assume so, wouldn't you? Anyway, his criticism, as in Shapps' criticism, is a criticism that is often levelled at bike paths, isn't it? That they get used less than roads and therefore there is no need for them. However, this image from Tom Flood on X, formerly known as Twitter, puts some much needed context into all of this.
It does, doesn't it? Although for those of you listening to the show as a podcast, basically this is a photo of a road bridge with a gap in the middle with the text saying, "We're not seeing many people using the new bridge we built."
Yes, and the accompanying message is, connected networks are just as important for people on bikes as they are for driving cars. I.e., if there was a little bit of road missing, you would not be driving your car, right? Therefore, part of the reason that some bike paths are not super well used is because they don't connect up with anything. So if you are not a confident cyclist, you're not going to venture out down a massive main road or dual carriageway to get to a sliver of bike path.
An extra barrier to entry.
Yeah, so I like that image. Is it a meme?
Yeah, I thought it was very clever as well when you showed it to me earlier.
Yeah, so anyway. Yeah, well done, Tom Flood. I thought that was cool.
One last bit of news in cycling shorts now. Leah Wilcox is continuing to go full send on her around-the-world record attempt. Although, as we film this, she's technically off course, isn't she?
She has, yeah. I assume she's not got lost.
Well, no, maybe she's just found a better route. Anyway, 29 days in, her daily average is still 181.8 miles.
That is absolutely bonkers, isn't it? So her average moving speed is 14.6 miles an hour, 23.5 k an hour, which is pretty blooming impressive, isn't it? Actually, one more thing, Dan, just before we finish Cycling Shorts. A quick reminder that you only have until this Friday, so that's the 28th of June, to get your entry in for our TRiPeak giveaway.
There are 5 asymmetric oversized pulley wheels up for grabs. Just head to the link that we'll put in the description down below and answer the question that you'll find in there.
You know what, right? I don't struggle to sit on bike saddles, but I can really do with a 3D printed stool today. For some reason, I've got...
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm getting sore bum. If anyone can sort us out with a custom 3D printed bar stool. Oh.
Well, once we get our physique saddles, we can just prop them on the top of the bar stool mount, can't we? Hack facebook.com/Bodge of the week now. Si is dying to read out a comment.
Well, I am. So you know how last week we were discussing the crapness of zip ties
Yeah.
and how dangerous they were. And then I said, I thought I remember someone commenting that NASA used zip ties. Well, check this out, right? So Desmond17 says, to ease size mine towards zip ties and as a nod to the NASA tidbit, I can confirm that as a worker on Ariane 6 space launcher, like legit, yeah, every single piece of our wire system is held in place by zip ties, although we call them tie wrap. Which is a brand like Loctite or Scotch, apparently. We don't have to use nail clippers to trim them, thankfully. We use a completely over-engineered clamping tool that basically does the same job. So my mind is blown.
Wow.
NASA uses zip ties.
I mean, I think I'm more blown that anyone from NASA watches the GCN show.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm humbled. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. Anyway, maybe they're not as bad if they're called tie wrap.
No, it does sound a bit...
Bit cool. Oh yeah, we use tie wrap. Yeah. Anyway,
Well,
thank you
thanks
very
for
much.
writing in, Desmond. Much appreciated. Right, first one this week then is from C. Marlin, aero bars from a broken hockey stick. Well, that says a lot, doesn't it?
Doesn't
Here
it?
we go then. While ice skating at the local ice rink with my daughter, we found a broken hockey stick near the bench. We used to lacing up our skates. After checking with management, they determined it would be okay to let us have said stick. The elbow pads, well, they're still work in progress, and I'm open for suggestions. Can't remember the exact weight, but they are light.
Wow. That's crazy, isn't it? And they kind of look all right. I mean, it is genuinely like a hockey stick stuck on the front of a bike. But
Well, yes, if you hadn't heard or read the caption, you'd be forgiven for thinking these were just some fairly nice retro aero bars.
yeah. Well, that's very cool. I'm impressed with that.
I'm saying hack.
Oh, I'm going to say hack as well,
And
actually.
I think the ends already look quite good.
Yeah, I mean, we know nothing, obviously, about the structural integrity
No.
of a hockey stick.
No, I wouldn't recommend doing it.
I imagine if you, what do they do? Smack a puck at like 100 mile an hour or something, it's probably fairly impact resistant.
Yes. Although it was broken, that's why they got it.
Good point. Okay.
Nice Merlin bike, by the way. I haven't seen one of
Very
those for a while.
cool, yeah, nice. I like the red cables as well. Right, were you saying hack from that?
A hack, yes.
Hack, right. And then this next one from Andrew Fraser, wheel clock. Okie doke, here we go. I've seen a number of folk converting old wheels into clocks lately, so I thought I would get in on the action and make a clock for my pain cave. Here's an old wheel I had, Dura 7600 hub, laced onto Mavic Open Pro rims, in case you ask. Very tastefully converted into a clock. I mean, that. What can you say? It's neat, isn't it?
Well, we better describe it, hadn't
quite
we,
quick.
for podcast listeners. It's a wheel, as described,
Yep.
with a Casio watch strapped to some of the spokes.
Yep.
I mean, it did make me chuckle when I first saw that, because I read the description first and then scrolled down.
No, that is good. Well done, Andrew, for that one.
Right, next up, this one from Yaburo. Broken Garmin 1000 bracket. Recently replaced my old Garmin 1000 case because the bracket clip was broken and did not hold anymore. Poor quality plastic, China made, and the clip broke again after a week of normal use. Fixed the problem with a good old metal bolt placed through a hole in the case. Indestructible. It doesn't look like the case to me, it just looks like the Garmin.
How have you put a metal bolt through? I mean, maybe a cheeky bit of unscrewing of Garmin casings, I guess, but
Maybe, I don't really know.
I don't understand, but I mean, it looks quite neat.
Well,
Apart from
again,
the wing nuts that you've used.
For those of you listening to this and not watching, one shot shows the Garmin mounted onto the mount with the cover over the top of the Garmin. The other one's just got a picture of the underside of the Garmin 1000 computer without the mount, and it's got a screw coming out of it. I mean, I presume the top of the screw is not on the screen on the other side.
That would be a bodge. I mean, anything that gives more life to a product, especially an expensive one like a Garmin 1000, gets a thumbs up from me. So I've got to say it's a hack, but I just wouldn't use a wing nut. Just feels a bit
That
budget,
does feel
doesn't
like
it?
a bit bodge.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Like something a bit neater, perhaps.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I guess. Well, no, I was going to say, I guess you maybe want to take it off at the cafe just in case someone nicks it. But if it's not a wing nut, it's quite hard to nick, isn't it?
Well, exactly, yeah.
Literally just
Yeah,
screwed
you kind
on.
of shot yourself in the foot there, haven't you, really? But no, are you saying hack as well then?
I'm saying hack, yep.
Okay, and then this next one, this final one, in fact, was sent in by one of my near neighbours and friend, Julian. He was on a bike packing trip and I don't know quite what the order of events was, but effectively someone rode into the back of him, and then he sent this picture of a very broken Shimano XT brake lever that had been repaired with a screw and some metal wire.
And did it work?
Well, I don't know. I mean, potentially this bodge happened prior to the accident and the guy went into the back of him because he had no rear brake.
Oh, I see.
But, I mean, I can't see how that would function, really, as a brake lever.
No?
Can you?
No, I mean, it doesn't look like it. It looks like it might get you home whilst allowing you to do some braking, but wouldn't recommend that for longer than about 10 Ks.
I mean, your front brake would also help get you home, presumably, which leaves you to think, I don't know what the point of that was.
No.
But anyway, nevertheless, I mean, one of the joys of bike packing is finding ways to get yourself out of sticky situations. So, you know, maybe that was just something they enjoyed doing at the side of the road.
We're going Bodge anyway.
I mean, I think we are, aren't we?
Definitely.
Yeah, okay.
Just before we finish with hack/Bodge of the week, this comment from Shane Mario 13. Hi, Si. Fixed Earth 1 here. You asked why I named my Dogma F Bob Beauty. First off, thank you for putting Bob Beauty in the challenge station on Hack Bodge. The name's Bob Beauty. It's a play on the Bob colourway black on black and the horse Black Beauty. She's a black on black beauty or Bob Beauty. Oh, and you got busy chatting and didn't say whether it was a hack or bodge, but thanks for the screen time.
It doesn't sound like us getting too busy chatting.
We'll go hack for that, I think. It was a hack, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, definitely was a hack.
And then just finally, some good news. You can now head back to uploader.globalcyclingnetwork.com. Sorry, it's just upload, isn't it? Upload.globalcyclingnetwork.com, and you'll be able to submit your hacks and bodges once again.
That is a relief,
isn't
it? So yeah, after the...
It's Lorraine calling. I should probably answer that, otherwise I'd be in trouble.
Yeah, you really will. We'll be back with you shortly, viewers. It's time now for Caption Competition, that part of the show where you get a chance to get your hands on a GCN Camelback water bottle. But before we start, what is this? You ask.
It's not what you're going to get if you win the Caption Competition, but rather it is a special French-themed GCN Camelback water bottle. Actually part of a huge French collection we've got over at shop.globalcyclingnetwork.com.
That's French collection, not...
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Yeah, two vitally important different letters there to allow us to not get into trouble. Over 25 different T-shirt designs available to celebrate the biggest race of them all, plus the Camelback water bottle and a mug and a couple of hoodies as well. So if you would like to support us that way, it would be very much appreciated.
Yeah, I mentioned last week how my LA sweatshirt is my favourite hoodie.
Yeah.
I still haven't got one yet, so I need to get that sorted out actually, because now it's LA, isn't it? So
yeah, there's a couple. You added a couple more.
Couple of LAs, yeah, because we really want to go. Anyway, no, but look at that. I think that's proper cool, that.
Yeah, I like that as well. We've been given a couple each, haven't we?
Yes, we have, yeah. Right, we've sidetracked, haven't we, from the Caption Competition, which is the part of the show where you get a... Now, I've said that bit. Basically, you just have to put something funny in the comment section, don't you?
Last week's photo was this one of Adam Yates at the top of a big mountain at the Tour de Suisse. Our winner this week is Mountain Climber Zoom. We put Caption Competition. Kudos to Adam, boldly going where Snowman has gone before.
That is really good, isn't it?
It's better than anything I've ever done in 11 years.
Yes, I think it is actually. Mountain Climber Zoom, that is fantastic. I mean, genuinely, that's blown me away. That's
very good. Yeah. Get in contact with us on Facebook with a message and your address. We'll get a bottle sent out to you. This week's photo comes from the Women's Tour de Suisse. It's a few days after that previous photo.
No pressure, Dan, but Mountain Climber Zoom has set the bar quite high today.
Yes, too high for me, unfortunately. I will get you started though. The new automated rice cake distributor proved to be a hit at the Tour de Suisse.
Sorry, just explain that one, Dan. Am I zooming into this photo?
Well, you're going to have to zoom in. So there are 5 riders in shot. The one at the front is Neve Bradbury of Canyon SRAM, who I think this is a litter zone. Everyone's reaching into their pockets to discard various bits and pieces. But it looks like Neve is about to catch a bit of food in the foil wrapping.
I see what you did there. Yeah.
I mean, it's a long way from my best even, let alone the best of Mountain Climber Zoo.
Terrible. 2 things. Firstly, we should say congratulations to Neve, shouldn't we? Because she won a stage of Tour de Suisse.
Her first
big pro win, since graduating from the Zwift Academy a couple of seasons ago. And also, have a look at their team bikes. How rude is that canyon? mighty impressed with that.
Rude.
How rude, yeah.
That's
rude in a good way.
That slays.
Like, is that, I was going to say sick. What was that?
I read that somewhere the other day. I'm not sure if that's using it in the right context or not.
Oh, okay.
I read somewhere that all the youngsters are saying slay.
Slay.
So I don't know if it's plural of slay works. Slays.
Oh, my
Anyway,
word.
should we move on?
Yeah, someone please enlighten
me out of my
in the
misery.
comment section down below. We've also got people from NASA watching. Probably got people who work for the Oxford English Dictionary, or perhaps, is it Webster's in the States? Maybe?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, maybe you can enlighten Dan. Right then, should we just carry on? Comment of the week?
We can do, yeah, crikey. All right. You want me to go?
Comment of the week now.
First up, this one, I don't even know. Oh, underneath the first look at the Pinarello Dogma F Superbike, Kim Decker, 8901. I almost didn't watch this video because I'm not in the market for a Pinarello bike, or any bike for that matter, but I'm glad I did. I learned a lot about aerodynamics and why bike designers make the decisions they do. Revelatory for this non-techie cyclist. Thank you.
That's cool, isn't it?
Yep.
Nice one. Well, thanks for that, Kim. Underneath the $150 versus $1,500 versus $15,000 bike, which I know triggered one or two of you, and I know this because you told us in your droves in the comment section. The reason we did that, by the way, is because it rounded up to much nicer numbers, basically, because it would have ended up being like £111 versus like whatever versus 14,000. So anyway,
I can see that.
Rounded up, yeah. Desmo Marco 91 said, the cool thing about cycling is no matter how rich and show off you are, you'll always be smoked by that guy with a 20-year-old bike with better legs.
Very true.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah. It is true, isn't it? And then Bobble Knob said, absolutely no one outside the professional cyclists needs a 15k bike, to which 12 people decided to go to town, including this one from Spicy Trifongo that said, literally no one needs lemonade either, but I'm glad it exists, which I thought was absolutely great.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah.
Why strength is the secret to longevity. So this was part 3 of my attempt to get back to health and fitness. Again, blown away by the number of comments.
Oh, it's amazing, wasn't it?
Yeah, so many people's stories underneath that video. I did probably spend a bit too much time on my weekend, not spending time with the family, but reading the comments instead. Royal Dudeness put, Dan, the one and only guy at GCN who can do pull-ups.
Well, that's not quite true, Royal Dudeness. I mean, I can't,
No.
as some of you might have seen, but Hank can.
Yeah, somebody did reply saying Hank enters the chat, I noticed.
I bet you can out-pull up him, though.
You reckon?
I reckon.
Even though he's smaller and lighter. How much does he weigh?
And like half your age. I don't know, actually. No, I think he's similar weight to you these days. He's got very big muscles.
He must be beefy.
He is beefy, yeah.
Peter Brooks said, such a great series for what I imagine is the core audience for GCN, non-elite middle-aged cyclists. After 2024 of cancer, followed by getting knocked off my bike the week I finished radiation treatment.
My God.
Fractured pelvis, shattered elbow. This is really giving me hope and motivation to get back into exercise as soon as my body can and my new bike arrives. Thanks to everyone involved in putting this series together.
Get well soon, Pete. That's actually savage, that, isn't it?
Yeah, really is.
Yeah, and then F350 Powerstroke said, I wish I could give you a hug for doing this series.
Oh, that's
Don't
very
stop.
nice of you.
Yeah. I'm not going to give you a hug, but...
And finally, Morten Muller. I'm honestly shocked with how much good information is being presented in this series. Sure.
Check you out, Dan.
Particularly this video. No sensationalism or bad advice, bravo. One thing I would add is that you indeed can reverse sarcopenia, even in older adults. Consistency and safety are key. Rooting for you, Dan. So yeah, thank you to all of those people who just read out, but indeed to all of the commenters underneath that video.
Yeah, proper cool, that. Right, and then under last week's GCN show, we obviously picked out a couple already. Greg Knipe said, as a person who does not have the means to pay for these shows, I'm grateful for your work and grateful to the people who provide it to me free of charge. Thank you. So yes, once again, to reiterate, GCN's free-to-view content is not going anywhere. Or as in, like, it's going to be progressing and
yeah, we're going to make it better.
Yeah, but
it's the plan.
We will not be hiding it behind a paywall or restricting it or anything like that. So, so yeah, panic not, folks, panic not.
Right, we'll let you know what is coming up in front of a paywall rather than behind one.
Indeed.
As it will continue to do so. On Wednesday, what to eat and drink on a long ride on the main GCN channel, but keep your eyes on the GCN Racing channel as well if you're interested in the Tour de France, because our big Tour de France preview will be coming out on Wednesday as well.
There's some great trivia in that particular video, isn't
Yeah,
there?
we put some effort in this time, didn't we?
Absolutely. Well, always.
Like 10 minutes just trying to find a couple of stage winners in different places. On Thursday, how to fix a flat tyre.
Yes, that's it. For those of you that have been with GCN for a long time, you'll know it's not the first time we have done this video, but it's important information for all cyclists. So we have updated our original Fix a Flat video, which was presented by one of us very badly, I think probably 9 years ago.
Do you know who it was? Was it you or me?
I've definitely done it.
Right. Yeah, I thought it was probably you.
And I think it was a long time. Therefore, I think it was very bad. Anyway, and then, I'm really excited by Friday's video. So I was lucky enough to compete at the World Championships at the weekend. The World Championships of Bromptons.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah, so the video is basically my day at the Brompton World Championships, which was absolutely wicked. I loved
Adam
it.
Blythe there?
Adam Blythe was indeed there.
I look forward to seeing that result.
Yeah, he was the only former World Tour professional there.
Right.
But there was, it was good. There was all sorts of people, amazing Bromptons. Wow. And then Saturday, I'm trying to think whether you have mentioned it yet. You haven't mentioned it. You're going to the Tour de France, aren't you, this week?
I am. I'm going to Florence, which is where the tour starts this year on Wednesday. So tomorrow, if you watch this as it comes out, and I'll be there until Saturday, 9 then coming back as the race starts. But I'm going to collect as much content as I can along with Ollie Bridgewood. So first time I've been to the Tour de France in 5 years.
Wowzers.
Pre-COVID was the last time I went.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, well, so Saturday, no pressure then, but that video is going to be coming from the Tour de France.
How is it?
Courtesy of you.
Okay.
Do you know what you're going to make yet?
No.
Okay. And then on Sunday, we've got a cracking cheap bike challenge for you, okay? So Hank and Connor and Manon have been out racing, but their cheap bikes are cheap bikes with a difference. So make sure you stay tuned for that one. I'm particularly excited. I dispatched them literally this morning, blindfolded in a van to a location they had no idea where it was.
Should have just driven for 10 hours.
Well, I mean, Manon did say before she went, she's like, how far are we going to have to ride? It was great. I enjoyed that roll this morning. And they haven't made it back yet, by the way, and it's late in the evening as we film this. So, I mean, I'm sure they're fine.
Yeah.
But like...
should be, shouldn't they?
Yeah, it'll be all right.
Right, so that almost wraps up another marathon GCN show. So all that leaves us to say is thank you to Chloe Corona Dowin, who's the only person left watching this show, that says, I actually enjoy the longer GCN shows. Keeps me entertained on the trainer or while stretching / foam rolling.
Yeah.
So thank you, Chloe.
Oh, I really like that comment until I realised that how boring stretching and foam rolling is. Basically anything is better than nothing.
Yeah, but there are other choices than a GCN show.
Oh, yeah, good point.
Take that as a compliment.
Oh, as a positive spin. Yeah, thank you, Chloe, for that comment. That was great. Give the video a thumbs up if you have enjoyed it and you are indeed still watching. So for the 4 of you, please hit the like button. Thanks.